Everyone talks about chasing your dreams. Everyone posts the highlight reels, the big shoots, the clean edits, the moment when everything finally works. But nobody really talks about what it really feels like when you are in the middle of it, when you are in the thick of it, when you are still trying to make it. I'm a photographer and a videographer trying to build something from nothing. And the truth is, the journey doesn't look the way people imagine it. It's slower, it's messier, and some days it's a lot more uncertain than I expected. There are days when the work feels amazing, when you capture something beautiful, when a client trusts your vision, when you feel like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And there are other days, the quiet days, the days when the bookings aren't coming in, the days when you are scrolling and it feels like everyone is moving faster than you. Nobody really prepares you for that. Nobody tells you about the doubts, the financial pressure, the feeling of building something that most people around you don't fully understand. They just look at you and wonder what it is you are actually working on. And sometimes you start asking yourself the difficult question: is it worth it? Am I really good enough? How long is this supposed to take? But at the same time, something keeps pulling you forward. Maybe it's the love for creating, maybe it's the belief that one day it will all make sense, or maybe it's just the refusal to quit on something that feels bigger than you. So today, I want to talk about something honest. What nobody really tells you about chasing a creative career, not the glamorous version, the real version. Because if you're on this path too, I think you deserve to hear the truth about what this journey actually feels like.
Check it.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to Gregory Studios, where we do and talk about all things creative. My name is Gregory, your awkward yet talented chingu, and I am happy to be here with you guys. So, you know how this is going to go down. I have a set of questions that I have created from, questions people are asking online, and we are going to answer with my thoughts, with my experience. I'm going to prefer solutions, and if you have your own solutions, do not forget to put it in the comments down below. So let's dive right into this. Okay guys, the first question here is, why did I actually choose this path? Was it passion, curiosity, ego, the desire for freedom, or the hope that one day it will change my life? Well, the answer is, it's a mixture of everything. It's a mixture of passion, of curiosity, of my ego, of every single thing that defines who I am. And I remember it started out as my love for storytelling. I started writing since I was 9 years old. I have a stack of 40 leaves notes and 60 leaves notes where I write stories, plays, dialogues. I was an aficionado of telling stories. I loved telling stories ever since I was young. I used to store away jotters and books, and even my notes that we use in class. I just keep writing stories. I'm always hiding under something, writing stories, imagining something crazy. My mom was worried at first, like, why is this girl you're not even focusing on your studies, you're just focusing on just telling stories that do not exist. It's just insane the way my mind used to work when I was a kid. I just loved telling stories. I have a stack of books. I keep them. They're like my gem right now. So, yeah, with the way the world evolves, I started looking for new ways to tell stories. I started looking for new ways to express myself, to tell my stories. It's either through actions, through writing. When I got my very first computer, I used to use that to write. Before, it was a desktop computer, those big monitors and big CPUs. My mom has like a small cyber cafe where I used to just like sneak into one corner. The admin computer was where I used to type away and have all of those my thoughts. And then memory storage was horrible. I lost a lot of my content. A lot of my write-ups got formatted, but I still kept writing. It was a drive. It was a need to tell stories, a need to exhaust the ideas in my head. Let me tell you a quick story. Let me go off on a tangent here. When I was in primary school, Takwa, I went to Takwa Primary School. I was in Basic 5. So my teacher in Basic 5 then was Mr. Muhammad. Then there was another teacher that was teaching basic or primary. We call it primary or basic. So primary 4, then primary 4, primary 3. Yes, her name is Miss Komolafe, and I really love Miss Komolafe. She's very fair, very beautiful, very poised, very elegant. And there's another teacher that I liked, Mr. Oba. Mr. Oba was a teacher for primary six. So I was like, I love this Mr. Oba. He's very charismatic when he's teaching. He's very kind to the students. He does not beat us like my teacher, Mr. Mohammed, used to spank us when we did something wrong. But Mr. Oba was very cultured, very, expressive, very charismatic. I mean, Komalafe was just like a beauty queen. She was elegant. And I remember I just, picked up my jotter then, and I was writing stories about how I want Miss Komolafe and Mr. Hoba to get married in the future, and they're going to have very lovely kids and all of that. I detailed it in my book because I just love them and how they're going to take over the world and be amazing people. And they're going to kiss on their wedding day, and they're going to have babies after that. It was very childish, very, very naive, very immature. Just I had little illustrations, little drawings as well. There was this girl in my class back then. Her name was Miriam, and Miriam was a very huge bully. She was not wicked, but she was just, how children go when they are very saucy. She was quite saucy, and I remember I was scribbling in my jotter then, and she just came and she just yanked it from my hand. She took it from my hand. I was like, "Give my jotter back, give my jotter back." And she said, "No, no, no. What are you writing? What are you writing? Yada yada yada." And she rushed and she went to go and give it to Mr. Muhammad. And Mr. Muhammad went through it. I thought it was just going to look at the story and just be like, "Go back to reading." I'll go back to class. And Mr. Mohammed flipped through the pages. He saw the illustration of me drawing Mrs. Komalafe and Mr. Oba holding hands, Mr. Komalafe and Mrs. Komalafe and Mr. Oba just walking down a very beautiful garden, how they are going to get married in the masjid, and all of those things. And Mr. Mohammed, I don't know, it just became an explosive story. And before I knew, I was called outside. I was asked to kneel. Mr. Oba and Miss Komalafe looked, she was just like, it's just kid stuff. But Mr. Oba was so flustered. Now that I'm thinking back about it, it was flustered. It was very, very like, why would I write something like that? I remember Mr. Muhammad actually beating me. I got like about 10 strokes of cane just for expressing my thoughts back then. It's been decades, but I still have that memory because it was one of the times when it was very painful that I thought this idea of mine, just putting it on paper, it's not terrible, but I was beaten for it actually. And yeah, it was horrible. I hated Miriam after that. I hated Mr. Muhammad after that. Till I graduated, I just anytime I saw him, I was always like, "You hurt me." Mr. Oba lost my, how would I call it, my compassion, or was it passion? I just saw Mr. Hoba and I was like, "Ugh, you don't deserve Miss Komalafe." The only person that handled it with grace was Miss Komalafe, and she was still, "Hey Zainab, like keep up the good writing." And after that, I told my mom, because my mom was also teaching in the same school, and she was teaching a very much younger class. And when the news got to my mom knew I've always been scribbling away like a maniac in my book, and she just said, like, next time when I want to write, I should just make sure that, I don't give it to people who will not understand, or my friend not let them. But it was not my fault. So I think that was the best way she could just handle it. And she just told me I should just write something about happy stuff and children's stuff next time. And I was like, okay, no problem. But I kept writing because I still had like adults in my life that did not look down on that writing. So this story I'm telling is because of, I'm just trying to explain where my love for storytelling actually started. I started writing professionally at the age of 9, where people actually started taking my work seriously. That, oh, she actually writes, and they read it. I give it to people and they read it and stuff. So my quest and my need to want to tell story has evolved over time. I used to think photographers and people who make movies are on a very high pedestal. It was very difficult for me to reach those kind of people. It takes an amount of heroism, courage, money, funds, power to be able to create something digitally. That's during those times. But the more I grew, the more knowledge I acquired, and the more I tried to understand, I realized that I could actually, achieve something from that. So at the end of the day, it was about my drive, my passion, my curiosity. Like, how do I get this? How do I do this? How do I do that? Ego, because I feel like, okay, this is something that I really hold there. I was a very timid child growing up. I was playful, but I was timid in the sense that I did not want to offend anybody. After several incidents whereby I was being, cautioned or being disciplined for things that I did not understand at that point in time. So I did not want to offend anybody. I was always tiptoeing around people, but I was very playful. I was very curious. I always wanted to know. my dad was my biggest fan in terms of like always telling me stories and all of that. So yes, that was what fueled my drive, and it later evolved to photography, because you can tell stories through pictures, and you can tell stories through movies, through documentaries. I was able to film a bit of documentaries about 2 years ago. Even last year I was able to do a bit of documentary. So yes, that was how it started. So now the next question here is, what did I believe the creative journey would look like when I started, and what is the reality now? When I started, I did not really have there was a huge time in my life where I was never thinking about monetization. I just wanted to write. I just wanted people to read. As a matter of fact, I used to write, and people in my school back then I'll just give it to my friends. So there's this thing called a play. You write the dialogue. So Ade, colon, how are you? Sarah, colon, I am fine. Ade, colon, what are you doing here? Sarah, just like that. So I used to just write, and I'll bring it to school, and I'll give it to my friend. I remember my classmates then. I remember Hassana. I remember Deborah. Alonga Deborah as well. I remember a lot of people who thought I was quirky because I used to write. I just used to fill notebooks after notebooks with writing. And it was something we used to look forward to during break time sometimes, to read. When I got into high school, like when I got to secondary school, that was SS3. I was more cautious about my writing because, everybody has an attitude in SS3. Honestly, everybody's not like a senior in SS3. So, but I still had friends. I had Ashionye, I had Chinyere, Afusat, Olatunji, Abdul, a lot of some people around me that just feel like, she's quirky, she's like that, she's whimsical, she could write whatever it is she wants to write. And yeah, so I did not really think of monetization. But as you grow up and responsibilities come along the way, you start realizing that you need to buy stuff for yourself, you need to own some assets, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to keep your mouth fed, you need to feed some people. You are working in a situation whereby you have to hire people, you have to, so a lot of responsibilities was cropping up, was popping up as I grew and as I expanded my knowledge for creativity. And I realized that I had skills that I could monetize. So that was when I started the monetization journey. And I believe you not, there's a spirit that comes with monetization. There's just like a spirit that comes with trying to turn a skill or a hobby or something you really love into money. It becomes monotonous, it becomes mundane. There are deadlines you need to meet. It sometimes kills the joy. It kills the joy. But once you are passionate and you're able to reset once in a while, you're able to find that joy, go within, find that joy, and then go again. Because honestly, there were times I just like had writer's block. I was unable to write because I was just thinking about the money. Like, I have the skills, it's not turning into money for me, it's useless. It's terrible. Writing was not about the money for me once upon a time. It was about the joy it brought to people, about me able to translate what's in my head into words and have people. I wrote war stories. I was a child, and now that I think about it, it's fascinating. I wrote war stories. I wrote a book called The Redemption Regimen. I wrote a book called Doctor something, I've forgotten. It's about like doctors with superpowers. I wrote, it's just fascinating. And yeah, but now it's more, I'm trying to strike a balance between holding my passion close to my heart, trying to do the best I can to help people, to be good, to be kind, and also trying to make money off of it, because I need finances, I need funds to be able to survive. So yes, and I think it's like that for a lot of people. A lot of people even shelf their passion and then go into the 9 to 5 workforce, so they'll be able to garner a bit of stability. And we had a conversation last time, me and Dari Medowa share about side hustles, about how people just need to strike a balance between their 9 to 5 and their passion. Sometimes their side hustle is not even their passion. So I digress, but yeah, back then it was just writing for fun, and now I just have to get money. So it's different, but I'm able to reset. I'm able to look towards the future and feel like, okay, there is something for me, something I want to do, something I want to achieve, something that is great for me. And I have plans in my head. So me moving down that trajectory kind of helps me reset. So the next question here is, what has been the most humbling moment in my photography, videography journey so far? Uh, when I started out being a creative, writing, um, and all of those stuff, I really didn't have someone to checkmate me. I don't know if that makes sense. I didn't have someone to vet me. I was writing from a place of passion. I was just writing because I felt it felt good, and I was putting it out there like, well, it feels good. A lot of people like it. People I give it to like it, so it's not bad. It's not horrible. And I went into photography and videography with that mindset. I have never ever gone to someone and be like, teach me this. I'm self-taught. YouTube is free. I went on YouTube, went to go and learn a lot of things on YouTube. So YouTube is free, and I was able to go online, go there, watch a lot of content to be able to understand lighting, composition. I have a very lovely friend, Mr. Deolu, is out of the country now, and he's an OG photographer. So whenever it is I have questions, I'll just text him, Mr. Diolu, this. I used to hang out at his house sometimes just to see him work and just to like ask a lot of questions. And then you just be like, this girl is just so keen on asking questions. I'm always asking the silliest questions. I was not scared to ask questions at all. What is this used for? What did they use this for? In my head, I'm already planning like, okay, this is what I needed to do. So when I got my camera and I started photography, and I started taking pictures professionally, I just felt like whatever I did was good, whatever I did was okay, whatever I did was fine. There was nothing wrong with it, And it's kind of egocentric and narcissistic to think like you are perfect in whatever you do. Yes, I try my best. I make sure I try my best to do whatever it is I want to do, but there's just this narcissism that comes with like, okay, nobody can checkmate me. But when I started to check other artists' work, other photographers' work, see their landscape work, and I know comparison is a thief of joy, but there are fundamentals you need to understand when you're going into videography or photography. And I started to check the original the originality of people's work, how people are able to express with the little they have. And it challenges me. It makes me feel like, what I'm doing is cool, but I can be better. So knowing that I am not even the best, knowing that I am not even the best at what I'm doing, and there's a lot of room for me to grow, and me thinking like my pictures are the best whenever it is I make them, it's kind of humbling. Because then I'm telling myself like, there's room for you to grow, there's room for you to keep working. And what is crazy is that I took a picture that I had a picture that I took in I think when I started photography, like first few months I started photography, and now I compare them with some of the pictures I take now, and I realize that my style for editing is different now. Now I'm more dexterous with some tools. I use some tools adroitly. I'm able to manipulate some pictures better. I'm able to make some pictures look more charismatic, and this and this and that. So it humbles you when you know that there was a point in time where you thought it was just fine, and now that you've grown, you've expanded your knowledge, you realize that, well, it was fine at that point in time for your stage of growth, but looking back, it's different. Like, you are better now. There's just a growth you see in the pictures. And yes, so that has been one of the humbling moments for me. It's the entire process of me realizing that there is always room for me to grow and develop. So yes, and I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being on set. I enjoy taking pictures of things, of people, of products, of places. I enjoy, bringing that pictures to life, and it's fascinating. So yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll get back to you shortly. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Designer. Designer is a fashion company. They create lovely fashion accessories, dresses. So if you have fabrics you want to sew, Designer is your one-stop shop to turn that fabric into beautiful outfits. You would have seen my first podcast, my second podcast, even the outfits I am wearing today, the headgear, the cloth, all from Designer. You need to dress nice, feel comfortable, feel confident, and for men and women, Designer's got you covered. The number is being displayed on screen right now. Give them a shout out, give them a call, give them a text on WhatsApp, and they'll get you started on whatever offers or whatever product it is you want to get. Thank you. All right, guys, I want to talk to you about Great Great Productions Limited. Great Great Productions Limited is a very beautiful creative production company that are ready to service all your creative needs. Is it photography, videography, creative writing? Great Great Productions Limited is a creative production company here for you. So photo studios, if you want to take that portrait, if you want to take that event, you want to cover that event, you want to cover a sporting event, you want to have a documentary, you want to even have a podcast like this and you don't know where to start from, and you have little to no money, you want something that you can start with, Great Great Productions Limited is the company for you. What are you waiting for? Their number, their emails, their contact is floating on the screen right now, and it's also in the description. So please go there, and yeah, they'll handle you with love, with care. So thank you. Let's dive right back into the conversation. All right, guys. So the next question here is, what do people on the outside not see about trying to build a creative career from nothing? So, I know this is overused, overstretched, but a lot of people say I started from nothing, and that is actually true, because when you look at Nigeria, when you look at the grand scheme of things, the people who are actually wealthy, the people who have money, the people who have this wealth, they are very small percentage of people. So when someone says I started from nothing, best believe that they are actually right, because the majority population of Nigeria are below middle class. They are actually working. The middle class is saturated, but the middle class is just like, let's say, a camouflage for you just trying to stay in the middle class. Because when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, the economy is not nice, the economy is not friendly. Everybody is trying to make ends meet. Yeah, people are doing the best they can. They are doing the best they can with whatever it is they got. So a lot of stories that come out say, oh, I started from nothing. I actually believe many of those, because yes, there are actually a lot of people in Nigeria that have nothing. They don't have a house. A lot of people are renting houses. People who have their houses barely have anything in that house. Even the salaries they are earning, things are just nosediving. The amount you're going to use to build a house, let's say in 2010, is quite different from the amount you're going to build a house here in 2026. So yes, times have evolved, times have changed. So now, I don't want to say, me too, I was wretched, because the truth is I actually had parents that gave it their all to make sure my siblings and I had education, basic education. Both my parents, I've always said this on this platform, were civil servants. My dad is retiring in a bit, so yeah, they are both civil servants. My mom was a teacher. She was even my teacher at a point in time. My dad used to teach mathematics. He has an accounting degree, a mathematics degree. They are both studious. They both worked hard to the best of their capacity to make sure that their children had basic education, had food in their stomachs, and had clothes on their back. Now, every other thing is just bonus. So car, luxury trips, all of those, nah, can't relate, because Nigeria, that's always been Nigeria all the way. But we did not lack, in the sense that we were raised with love. My siblings and I were raised with love, compassion, morals. We were there was love in my home. There was laughter in my home. Growing up was tough, and the tough aspect was maybe in terms of finances, where I needed to get something and I couldn't get it because we're tight on change. My dad had to strategize to be like, okay, we're not going to spend this on this. We're going to spend this on that. So it was tough in that regard. Financially, it was tough in terms of money aspect, but in terms of love, oh my god, despite that, we were raised with love. Of course, every family will have their downsides and would have their upsides. So there were downsides and there were downtimes, and there were times where we lost people very dear to us. My grandmother, for instance, my grandparents, we lost them. And yeah, so my family has gone through dark times as well. But what held us together was love, was, the harmony. So I was raised with love, and that was what filled me. And I had parents who believed a lot in us. My siblings are awesome in their own ways as well. So my parents believed in us, and that in itself is a huge luck. I was lucky. I was blessed in that sense, and not a lot of people have this, despite the fact that there is still the financial constraint added to it. So after saying that, moving forward, the thing is this: I did not have resources growing up for the career path that I wanted to choose. I did not have a camera. I did not have. It was until when I got into uni that I got a laptop, and that laptop has been used by my dad, by my mom, back to my dad, and it has been used. I think the laptop is in my office at the bottom side. Yeah, I'm going to show you that laptop. If I open it, it's going to screech. Basically, it's a HP laptop. We even have a name for that laptop. That the laptop name is Cecilia. We call it Cecilia because when my dad bought it, and he bought it from someone who was using the. Let me have it. It's actually dusty, safe. He bought it from somebody who was using it, and the person's password was Cecilia. So when the laptop got to our house, we never changed it. My dad never changed the password. My mom never changed the password. So it was just Cecilia all through. Even when I got it, I never changed the password. So we call the laptop Cecilia. It's a Lenovo, HP laptop. You can see I use it in school. Look at the monitor back. Is it showing? The monitor back is about coming off. The hinges are gone. Literally, if I close my PC, this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it, guys. Look at this back. Look at this. This was my first laptop, and I used it like my life depended on it. It's a HP 620, and I kid you not, it is still working. See, they don't make laptops like this again. It is still working. The screen has a lot of ink. I use this laptop all through the time I was in uni. My friend had MacBooks and all of those stuff, and I carried this proud. In fact, people knew me because I used to carry my backpack all around school to find electricity, because the battery life is horrible. It's trash. The battery life, once there is no lights, it goes off. So basically, this was my first PC, and my dad needed a PC because it was for his work. And when my mom started at second degree, it was for she would use this for a project. When everything that was happening, this was the pride. Yes, this was our Ugo in the house. You can see I use glasses. This sticker is from 2014, guys. 2014. This sticker is from 2014. Look at an excellent Ladokite. Let me show you. So I'm not going to bore you. You can see a lot of stickers I acquired to when I was still in school. If I want to close the PC, after I close it this way, I'm going to just shift it and press it together like this. Then it clicks in place and turns off. So you can see GDG. This is Gray's Book Club, because I had a book club when I was in uni. This is Shark. This is Women Who Code, because I tried to code at a point in time in my life, and I was like, women in tech. This is SDSN. This is just a sticker I stole from somebody. Not stole, but the person gave it to me. And this is just women in tech. This is 2019 hackathon season that we hosted in school, that I was part of the people who helped host the hackathon when I was in school. I was very active in school. It's very dusty. So the point is, I basically did not have much, and with what I had, I made sure that I used it. I learned graphic design on my own. I downloaded a cracked version of Photoshop on my own, because I was trying to figure it out. I didn't have money for Adobe subscription. I was trying to figure out how to be able to design, and because I knew there was no money coming from home like that, a lot of people that I knew were not getting a lot of pocket money from home. They just give us food stuff, and then maybe just a little bit of money to just help us through, maybe for our essentials, maybe sanitary pads or toothpaste or toothbrush to just keep you going, right? So I started learning graphics design in school by myself on YouTube, practicing and failing on Photoshop, and I was able to get one or two design gigs, design flyers, design this thing. It was not the best, but I was earning a little bit of money from it, 500 naira, 1,000 naira. The highest I got paid then, I think, was 4,000 naira, and the guy never paid me. So you can say 0 naira was the case. The guy knows himself. If you're watching this, you're still owing me 4,000 naira since then. And it hurts me because I had, when you don't have money and then you do a work and you are hoping for that money to come in. So you've planned your life on that money. I planned my life on that 4,000 naira. I was hoping like when that 4,000 naira comes, I'm going to stock my provision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to set aside some for pocket money. I'm going to change my underwear. I'm going to do this. Everything was going to be bam. And the guy just vanished. And it was a whole case. So I learned that in school. I had dreams of telling stories. I was still writing in school. I wrote for the Muslim newsletter. I wrote for there's this Muslim editorials that comes out every year, every session. No, is it year or semester? Every session, I guess, during school. For Jihad Week, I wrote for all of those publications. Sometimes it's made it into the publication, sometimes it did not. I moved with people who were literally inclined. I called myself an artsy science student. It was fascinating because whatever it is I had, I tried to make the most of it because I knew I had a goal in mind that I needed to make mad money and I needed to, go back home and just retire my parents and be like, don't work anymore. Mom and dad, this house key is yours. But it's not like that. It did not happen like that. I did not retire my parents. In fact, my dad is going to retire himself in a month. It did not work out that way. But my parents were proud of me because I never caused any trouble in school. I did the best I could. I was able to inspire people. I hosted some events because I was very charismatic. I knew what I wanted to do. I was ambitious. So, yeah. My point for going off on that tangent was I did not have anything. I did not have anything, but I created opportunities myself. I put myself in positions whereby opportunity found me. The person that introduced me to writing jobs was somebody that was a part of my book club. The person was like, oh, you write a lot of books. I have somebody who's looking for writers and this, and I think maybe you might help. I said, I might help. What about me? I need to write as well. And I still have some of those clients till date on my hand. So what I'm trying to say is like what people outside will not see while you're trying to build a creative career from nothing is how much you strive. How much you strive with what you have. If you have a lot and you're starting out with a lot, it is easier for you to take things for granted. But when you don't have, and you know that if you don't, sorry, you can see my PC came off. That's broken. If you don't have, and you finally get it into your hands, you will want to use it to the best of your capabilities, to the best of your capacity. So for this PC, the reason why I still have it, you can see it still has a tape that, I don't know if you can still see the camera like this. It has a tape here that I used to hold the wire from the monitor. You can see. My point is just make do with the most you have. Some people have a Samsung S22. They have an iPhone 12. Are you telling me you can't make a movie with your iPhone 12? And you are saying, oh, I want to become this, I want to become this. I know people who create stellar content with their iPhone 11, with their iPhone 10X. Yeah, iPhone X, XR. I know people who create beautiful content with their Redmi, who edit the content on their phones. Before I even got a camera, I shot on my phones. My first film was shot on my phone. It was shot with my phone. Even my second film was shot on my phone. And I edited it on my phone. So I just feel like at that point in time, I did not have a lot of options. I was just trying to find what works so that I'll be able to, understand the trajectory of my life. And I just stuck to it. And let me say something. It was because I had a passion for it. That's why I just kept going at that. So, yeah. So people on the outside will not see how much you are striving, because that part is personal to you. That part is for you. That part is what you are, doing to build your character, build your style, build your brand, build your identity. That part is personal to you. So don't blame people for not seeing that. But when we have conversations like that, it makes people feel like they are not alone, because a lot of people are going through this. A lot of people do not have the money to be able to scale from that get-go. A lot of people don't have the capital. In fact, some people save for years, and when it's, imagine you have been saving from let's say 2016, like if you're saving, now look at the valuation of the money in 2026. You can see. So people just realize that they just have to do. You have to jump into it. You have to do it afraid. You have to do it. You have to start afraid. Start with all you've got. Don't think about the noise. Don't think about the external people. Don't think about what people think of this. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, you're not hurting people, you are sticking to your guts. You are sticking to your guts, and you're acquiring knowledge as you go. It's going to be fine. It is going to be tough, but you are going to be fine, and you are not alone. So the next question here is, what has the financial reality of chasing this dream been like? The financial reality has been brutal. There are several times I've been living from hand to mouth. There are several times I've asked my friends, run me a few P's, run me a few K, urgent 2K, send my way, please. Hand to mouth, in debt. There's times whereby you feel like the world is against you. You feel like maybe you are biting more than you can chew. I remember there was a time that I did not, in fact, it's still a struggle, but there was a time that it was very bad. I did not get clients for like 4 months. I was madly depressed. I was broke. I was not getting jobs, and I just realized that somebody who is a creative, who is ambitious, and who know our capacity and our capabilities, is not getting clients, is trying our best, is expending money on ads, is expending money on this, is expending money on that, and nothing is coming in, trying as much as possible with all of these talents to do something right, and it was not coming. I was mad depressed. I was asking God, why me? What did I do? I ran into a lot of debt. I was like, what's going on in terms of my career, in terms of my work? And the people I was working with, I had to lay off a lot of people that were working with me, because I could not just cope anymore. And a lot of people are thinking maybe I have a big team. I don't have a big team. I literally just have a temporary staff here, and somebody who has been working with me for about 2 years now. So basically every other person that the faces you used to see on the channel, most of them have left. So it's been a really, really tough situation whereby you try to pick yourself and still try to go every single day. So a lot of people will just look at you and be like, oh, she has that bag, she has that money, she has this, she's just no. We are trying our best. We just package it differently. See, we just package our downsides differently. And as a believer of faith, someone who is a very religious person, I just think like God just knows what he's doing. Who am I to complain, or who am I to say yeah, this is what I want, let it go my way, God? I can ask, I can beg, because I'm a creation. I'm not the creator. The creator is the one that knows what he has in store for me. So I don't know. I'm just doing the best I can with what I have. So yeah, a lot of people would think, okay, there's this big money. Somebody might just walk up to them and dash them big money to start a business. Nobody is going to that. See, if you find someone that actually dash you money, you are like one of the very small percentage of people who are ever going to face that in their entire life. The rest is what you actually do for yourself, what you put out there, how you can, balance the situation between your life, your finances, budget well, don't let consumerism consume you. All of those things you have to put into consideration. But when you think about the financial reality, my first camera was a miracle. I had months of like praying to God, like, how would I get it? I don't know how to get it. I don't know where to start from. I don't know what to do. I am stuck. I am lost. I am a writer and I don't have writing gigs. What is it? I don't have any, how would I say, skills that will make me go into the corporate world. I'm always like there's this thing about the corporate world I've told myself that I don't want to go into. I've seen my parents work for the government, civil servants, as teachers for all their lives, and I just thought to myself, like, I want more freedom to do stuff. I want more freedom to, take care of my family, do this, do that. So I have all of these thoughts in my mind, and I have no money, I have nothing. My first studio, if you have been following this channel for a very long time, my first studio, I did not have anything in my studio, just a chair and table and some decorations I put together. I was recording on my phone at the time because I just felt like, let me do something, let me put myself out there, let me see what it is I can do. And alhamdulillah for growth, thank God for growth. Things have progressed in a way, but the reality is that there is no money that will fall in your laps. You are just the one that will try as much as possible to see how you can budget better. Cut off. A lot of people are spending so much on Spotify. I don't remember the last time I have subscribed to Spotify. If my Spotify is playing and then ad comes up, so if my ad plays, let my ad play. After that, I would resume. A lot of people like, you can't even, Spotify is just 800 naira, it's just 1,800 naira. Add that in a year. Use it to buy data. A lot of people will buy data and they'll exhaust it on things that do not really matter. And I'm not saying that this is the way you need to spend your money, but for someone who is struggling and consistently complaining of how your financial state is always dwindling and how you can't get, there are some things you just have to cut off, some things you just have to learn to be comfortable with, some things you have to just push aside because you don't have it yet. So what I'm just trying to say is, the financial reality is sometimes there are slow months, there are sometimes that there's inconsistent income, and there's sometimes that there's uncertainty. But despite that fact, you can't stop living. Despite all of that, you cannot stop yourself from living, from breathing, from being who you are supposed to be. So my bottom line here is, the financial reality of going into a creative company, a creative job, a creative career is, once you set aside your capital, you have to be very prudent, you have to be very strategic. You can't spend money on the useless stuff. Find what works and stick to it, move on that. If it's your writing gig that is working right now and you feel like there's a niche that some people are requesting for you to write on, run ads on that niche, focus on that, cut out all the unnecessary things. Are you trying to how would I say, there's some subscriptions that you have that you don't need on your phone. It's a lot of subscriptions, things that you are subscribed to that you don't actually need, but you are subscribed to them because of your social status, because of how people will perceive you. Nobody is perceiving you. Nobody is listening to your Spotify with you. Nobody is listening to, I'm not against Spotify, but nobody is doing all of these things with you. Nobody is seeing that. Nobody is seated beside you, inside your head, seeing how you are managing all of these micro things with you. So you are the one doing it. And at the end of the day, if you fall into debt, if you fall into all of these financial ruins, you are the one that will bear the burden alone. So we have to be very, very strategic with how we handle our financial lives. The financial reality is that there is no huge box waiting to fall in your lap. So at this juncture, I realize that a lot of people who watch me have not subscribed. You are enjoying my content, you are watching my content, you are just giving me likes, comments, but you're not subscribed now. Hey, baby girl, go and click that subscribe button. Fine boy, click that subscribe button so we can have this conversation. You can hear me yap and tell you what it is I feel will work, or what it is I feel has worked for me. Let's have these conversations. Let's be able to open our mindset, open our head, open our brains to be able to understand these things, why they're happening, understand these things better, know that you are not by yourself. So that's that about that. The next question here is, have there been moments where I seriously questioned if I should stop? Yes. There are moments that I've seriously questioned if I should stop. That I've thought, I'm just going to pull the plug. But did I pull the plug? No. Did I stop? No. The thoughts keep coming, but I did not hit that brakes. I just kept, releasing my foot off the pedal, off the accelerator a bit. Slow down. Now your slowdown can take months, your slowdown can take weeks, your slowdown can take hours or days. But if you know that this is something that you can succeed in. Know that this is something you have passion for. Know that this is something that would help people, provide job opportunities, help you, how would I call it, make your future stable, give you that flexibility in thought, time, space, then don't stop. It is easy for you to just see that other people are moving ahead. People are just showing you their fine stuff. Oh, you see that beautiful content you saw online of somebody entering their Ferrari and they look so nice and they look all of that. Sometimes it takes like 15 takes. Did I get the camera angle? The mic did not work. Oh, yeah, let's take it again. The angle is not right. Let's take it again. I forgot my shoulder is not set. So let's take it again. It takes several takes. So the final version you see is what you are pining for. You don't see what is before that. You don't see the toil. You don't see the suffering. I believe intrinsically. As a human being, for you to be able to get something good, there has to be a level of suffering. Now, the suffering might vary. It could be maybe, okay, let me give you a very good example. You want to get over your alcohol addiction. You have to stop drinking alcohol, and it's not easy. It's easier said than done. There are steps, maybe replacing alcohol with something else, maybe trying to focus on something else. There will be withdrawals. Somebody who has never tasted alcohol will never know. Do you understand? Will never know, like, okay, this is what this person is going through. Like, it's easy, just stop. But person who has, who is heavily dependent on alcohol, I tell them to just stop, they're going to have to suffer before they get to that place where you who do not take alcohol at all is. They're going to have a level of pain, a level of mental breakdown, a level of struggle, a level of interaction with people, a part of their life that they feel that is dying, a part of their physical being that they feel is breaking down before they're able to rebirth and be that person that you have easily become from scratch. I think you get what I'm trying to say. Let's say you want to get that car now, for instance. You don't have money to get that car. You have to get the work done. So the pain might come from maybe waking up very early, going through the uncomfortable traffic, getting to work, getting the job done, putting up with uncomfortable, a boss that is very, very terrible, uncomfortable employees that are just in your business and eating your lunch and making you feel small, people who are riding you and taking your bus fare and making you pay for them, people who don't value your time. It could be those little micro things that would make you suffer. Maybe you are somebody who has been like always taking money from people and not returning it back. You're always taking money from. Now you want to turn a new leaf and you feel like, you know what, I want to pay back all this money I've taken from people, and I want to take accountability for my financial life. At that point in time, you're going to suffer because now you have to start working in order to get enough money to pay those people back. You have to have difficult conversations with that people, like, okay, give me a bit of time. Okay, I'm sorry for this. All of these things takes a level of pain, and before you can receive that gain, there has to be a level of pain. So for me, suffering comes with trying to get what you want, and suffering is of different variations. So I'm not saying you have to die, you have to break your neck, you have to starve. It might not be up to that. It might just be the inconvenience, the emotional backlash, the emotional turmoil, the mental turmoil, the physical pain. You want to get fit, you want to become healthy, you are, let's say, plus size, and you want to become maybe like a medium size. You have to go to the gym. If you don't want to go to the gym, you have to do that press up, that push up, you have to work out, you have to cut off a lot of unhealthy diet. Those are the things that make you suffer, and those are the sacrifices you need to make. So yeah, those are very, that's just in a nutshell. That's just what I have to say about that. So moving forward, what kind of pressure do I feel watching other creatives succeed online while I'm still building? Get offline. To be honest, that's the best thing. Get offline. And what I'm very grateful for this generation of today is that while there's a lot of people who are crazy and just flaunting their wealth and flaunting this, some people don't even need to flaunt. It's just difficult to hide because they have it in. excess. So if they have somebody, imagine you have a house, you're a humble person, for instance, you have a house and the house is very, very nice and it's very, very, I just want to do a content in one part of your house. There's no how people will not see the background. There's no how people will not see the house. There's no how people will not see your lifestyle. So that in itself is that person's reality. But what I'm grateful for is nowadays is that there are also people who are coming out to say like it is not always like that. There are also people showing you the other side of the spectrum, which is like they are struggling. They don't have the fancy set. They don't have the fancy this. They don't have that. So yes, when you get to see all of that, it kind of grounds you as well. But the pressure, personally for me, I just go offline. And I think I'm blessed with my mindset that I don't feel intimidated by what other people have. What I want is quite different from what the next person wants. My own level of success is different from the second person level of success. So for that person, it could be a very big, lovely house, a very nice car. I want those things too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those things are bad, but I'm saying that the value we place on those things varies. For me, like, okay, let me tell you a very controversial take that I have. I don't know how to value a diamond ring. I don't know how to value a diamond jewelry. I don't know how to value gemstones and jewelry. I don't know how to value that. But if you buy me land, if you give me, if I'm to choose between a land worth 25 million naira, for instance, and a gemstone worth 25 million naira, I will value the land any day, any time, any second, see, even if I have 20 other land, I will value that land 20 times more than that. And I have a sister of mine, a very good friend of mine, who believes that gemstones are another way of collecting assets. So she values a gemstone rather than having a land that you have to be clearing every six months, have to fence around, you have to get your C of O on. A gemstone, you can flip it at any moment, and then, she has that mindset. Two different things, same value. So for me, what I value is different. Some people that might not even value a land. Some people just want maybe like a very nice apartment that the rent is not too expensive, just to live with their family forever, and they're fine. So the value we place on things differ. The value we place on, so I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel sad. I don't feel looked down upon when I see those kind of things, because I have lived it in my physical life. And I'm going to tell you a story. When I was in uni, I don't want to say this story from a part of, I don't want you guys to look at this story from a part of like meanness or something bad, negative. But I had a lot of old clothes. I try as much as possible to look nice. Sometimes I use my roommate's scarf when I'm going out and all of that. So there was a time during the Ramadan of 2019. Yes, I remember it's 2019 because that was when I met, me and my future husband now had the first conversation of like, I want to get married to you. So I understand it was Ramadan of 2019. And I was in the masjid. I was living my innocent life. We went for itikaf at the masjid, and I was just enjoying my innocent life of just. I actually went for taekwondo training because I did taekwondo when I was in uni. I went for taekwondo training leading up to iftar. So when I came to the masjid for iftar, I was very sore. Oh, my thigh was hurting. Some sisters were very, very helpful. They were helping me walk. It was we were kids basically. I think there was an early uni when we were basically just kids, right? So some sister held me up and they took me to walk up and down the masjid so that I'll be able to relieve my sore muscles. And it was very funny. Some sisters were laughing at me like, Okwala, who sent you to go and fight taekwondo in Ramadan? So now I was like, okay, it's time for Maghrib, time to break fast. So I went downstairs. I was hurting, and I was, when you are feeling sore, you have a kind of temperature, a hot kind of temperature. So I was feeling like a bit sick, and I was like, I just need to eat and I'll be okay. So as I was going downstairs, this sister came to come and meet me, and this sister said, Okola, it's something because I was being called by my son name most of the time in school. Okola, I want to talk to you about something. It's very important. And I felt like, oh, maybe this sister wants to talk to me about taekwondo, because I've already received admonition upstairs that why is it that I went to go and fight taekwondo in Ramadan when I'm supposed to be conserving my energy? I'll be doing, prayer and all of that. So why is it that I'm going upstairs to, I'll be going to school to fight taekwondo? So I was like, oh God, here goes another taekwondo admonition. And so I was like, and she just used to see the way I used to dress. Like my clothes are old. I kid you not. Somebody had the audacity. She was audacious enough to tell me that my clothes are bad. My clothes are old. I wear mismatching colors. My shoes are not good. I have this red shoe that I wore until the sole split. So she was telling me all of these things, like, why don't I just try as much as possible to dress like so and so person? I'm not going to say the person's name, but she was telling me, why don't you try as much as possible to dress like so and so person? Don't you see the way they look? Don't you see the way they look? And this is not even a case of like you have to wear longer hijab, this was a case of like, I just don't like how you dress. They don't know my financial situation, they don't know what was in my wardrobe, they just felt like I look ugly to them, and they just had to point it out to me. And I remember then I felt so, me, that I'm not confrontational. I don't go harassing people, I don't go being confrontational to people. So she said that, and I felt so bad, I felt so unhappy, I was moody with the soreness I was feeling. That iftar, I felt bad. I just ate and I just told God, well, I don't know what's me too. I love the idea of fashion. I want to be fashionable in the future, but right now is what I have, and you are the one that gave me what I have. So what else can I say? What else can I do? And that was it. I was so upset at that point in time when she said that. I felt bad. I just thought, oh, I've heard that there was no problem, and she was just like, I should just try as much as possible and all of that. So moving forward, that happened, and I continued living my life. I felt bad, and there are instances of things that have happened like that as well, but I won't say that was the catalyst for me trying to now like change my wardrobe or anything. But even that in itself was like an eye-opener, in a sense that, okay, maybe I could just try to check online and research to see what matching colors there are, how I can, dress at least nice. I was very clean, so it's not as if I'm dirty, but my clothes that have holes, maybe I should not use those clothes that have holes. I should reserve them for indoors. So all of those things crossed my mind, kind of mess with my self-confidence sometimes. But the more you grow and you realize that that's the list of your problems. Imagine you are hungry and you're thinking of what clothes. You don't even think about it. You don't think about your clothes have holes or your shoes are broken under the soles. You don't think, when you have a lot of responsibilities, there's a lot of things that just goes to the recess of your mind. They're not top of your mind. So I have lived that kind of looking down upon. I've lived that kind of lifestyle, and now when I go online, I see those kind of things. They don't freak me as much. Because now I know the value of the things I have. I understand the value of the things I have, how I toil to get what I have. The people that I love in my life that has assisted me out of the kindness of their heart say, okay, I see this girl is doing what she's doing. Let me help her. Let me do this for her. I remember a friend of mine surprised us, came from the United States, and he surprised us. We went to the same uni, but he traveled for his PhD and master's, his master's and PhD. So when he came back, he surprised us, and he was giving people the gifts he bought for them, and he turned to me and he gave me a vlogging set. He said if he had money for a camera, he would have gotten me a camera. But he sees that I am very passionate about vlogging, about this, about that. He sees I'm very passionate about it, and he bought it for me. One of those mic is still what we use today. Where is that other mic? Look at this, guys. It's still what we use today in the studio. This is the K8 mic. I was one that now purchased the K9 mic myself as a lav mic. He got me this phone holder. It was part of the vlogging kit. He got me a microphone, not this microphone, but it was another microphone. And I just felt so loved. I was like, people see what it is I'm doing. So they are giving, it's rare for people to just say, have this. Take this. So people that are putting that in I feel so grateful. I feel so loved. I feel so cherished. There was a time that I was making dresses when I used to still make dresses like full time. And my mom and dad like I was complaining to them that the dress I made for a client was bad, it was not neat enough, and I was in tears because the woman talked down on me like the clothes I made for her was horrible. It was many years ago. And my dad was like, what do you want, or what would make your work neater, what will make your job neater? And I said, if I get a weaving machine, I'll be able to weave the loose hems, I'll be able to weave it in. On a Sunday, no, it was not Saturday, it was a Saturday. On a Saturday, my parents were going out, my mom and my dad. And my dad was just like, Zainab, follow us. Normally, if my parents are going out and they say I should follow them, I don't want to go because it's going to be boring. I know that I'll be there, I'll be seated for hours, I'll be listening to maybe a lecture, I'll be listening to some seminar. I did not want to go. But my dad was just like, just dress up and follow us. And I was in a bad mood. No customers were coming in. And I said, okay, let me just dress up. Let me follow them. So we left Adiyon. We went towards Agege. For people who live in Lagos, you know Agege or Oja side. When you pass Pen Cinema, as if you are going towards from Ijai, Pen Cinema axis, you go down into the market. I started going down into the market. I was like, where are these people taking me? And we stopped at a machine shop. And my dad said, I should pick out a weaving machine. My dear, see, I was shocked because I knew we didn't have much. I knew there was not much at home. So, and this weaving machine then was, we later got it for 50,000 naira, but it ought to be around like 42k at that point in time. And my dad was like, I should take it. He had already budgeted maybe like 45,000 naira. That was all he had at that point in time. Him and my mom maybe put money together and all of that. How we went there, I just knelt down. I was so grateful. I was so happy because I could not fathom it. Like, my dad said he had seen how I was hustling, how I was trying to make sure the dresses were good. And I just kept crying because it was not working out. And I just felt like if this is an addition to my because the first machine I told to buy it myself. So this one felt like it's just like support. I said, okay, no problem. And we got it. The man said, no, it's 50,000 naira. My dad was like, it's 45,000 naira he has. Like, he wants to buy it for his daughter. The man said, no, it's 50,000 naira he had. At that point in time, I was like, okay. At that point in time, I was like, you know what? If we don't have it, if we don't get it, at least I know that the thought counts. And my mom and my dad went to the side again, and they came back and they paid the 50,000 naira. And I carried the machine on my lap and I carried it home. It felt like a dream. It was so mysterious to me. So, like, these are some of the things that I am grateful for in my life, that I don't see those things on social media and feel intimidated, because I felt loved by people around me. I felt cherished by people who saw what it is I was doing, and yes, I'm grateful. So I don't know, guys, put your thoughts down in the comments down below, and yeah, let's see what it is. So now we're going to stop here. It's been a very fascinating conversation. Thank you for being here. If you've not subscribed yet, please go and subscribe, like, comment, share, subscribe, and put on your notification bell so you can get updates from me. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I've yapped enough. My microphone has tasted my saliva. It's been a very interesting topic. See you in the next one.
Check it.